What's good? What's good? I am back. It's bright and early. It's like 7 a.m. December 27th, 2 days after Christmas. About to try to bang out these podcasts every day of the week until the first so we can hit 100. Once I hit 100, I'm going to do a press release and we're going to do an ad campaign. Before I get started, don't forget my name is Paul Pickett. This is the Paul Pickett Podcast. This is episode 93. Seven more. We'll hit that mark. Don't forget my podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. Need online marketing promotions for your music, your product, your brand, and your service. Check out promopalace.biz. Don't forget this podcast is live on TikTok and is pre-recorded for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, as well as the audio version is pre-recorded for Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much more. Also, this podcast is sponsored by New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. If you're a dog lover, you're a cat lover, and you're an animal lover, and you like t-shirts or hoodies with dogs and cats on them, please check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. That's NEWLITTER.com. And also for Shizzle, I got to shout out DizzleBrand.com. Dizzle, just add ice. Dizzle on ice, DizzleBrand.com. Step into the future. Do your DizzleBrand.com. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and more. And there's about a dozen recipes on there that you can check out to mix with your Dizzle if you order your Dizzle online. Or if you in Southern California, Dizzle is available in LA, Long Beach, and surrounding areas as well. First things first, let me get into last night's NBA scores. Miami Heat beat the Magic. Who would have known? Cleveland Cavaliers beat Toronto. Toronto's just definitely fell off the map this year. And Cleveland is definitely a legit playoff team. Who would have known? They put up 144 points last night. Philly beat Washington 117-96. Washington Wizards are starting to come back down to earth a little bit more. Even though they still might make the playoffs. I have to pull up the standings and check. Memphis beat Sacramento. And Sacramento, they need to make a lot of moves. OKC beat New Orleans. OKC, I think, is going in the right direction because even though they're still not going to make the playoffs, they're still going to get a high draft pick. They got a ton of draft picks. Their backcourt set right now. Shea Gillis, Alexander, and Josh Giddey, they backcourt set. All they need to do is build around him. And then they got Luke Dortz. I mean, he's only been in the league like 2 or 3 years, and he's balling out this year. Yeah, they got those three. They can build around those two, and a bench. They're good to go. They got a nice future ahead of them. San Antonio beat Detroit, and San Antonio been balling out lately. They put up 144. They waxed the Lakers last week. Chicago, Zach LaVine returns, and they beat Indiana. And then you got Denver and the Clippers. And Denver came back and beat the Clippers. And that's that. Let's go to these standings. Brooklyn's still number 1 in the East. Chicago's number 2. Milwaukee's number 3. Miami's number 4. Cleveland's number 5. Cleveland is definitely going to make the playoffs this year. And Chicago's coming back down to earth. They're down to 7. If they don't even make the playoffs, I hate to say it, the Russell Westbrook trade was not the move for them. Because Russell Westbrook got them in the playoffs. And another year with him and Bradley Beal, they would have been working a hell of a lot better. I'm just interested to see where my Hornets go. They're at number 8. But right now, only the top 6 teams get in the playoffs. And then 7 through 10 are in the play-in. Which really sucks for my Hornets because you got Atlanta, Boston, and Washington. Any one of those teams could win the play-in. All right, in the West, we got Golden State's number 1. Golden State. Steph Curry is clearly MVP. I mean, the team that's underneath them in the West got 3 All-Stars. He literally only got 1 All-Star on the team himself. That's it. Utah is number 3. We got Memphis at number 4. They're clearly going to make the playoffs this year. And John Morant and their drafting and the players they got definitely moved Memphis in a good position. They're gonna have a good future. Clippers are still holding at number 5 without Kawhi Leonard, which is really good. Paul George is balling out this year. Denver's at number 6, Lakers at number 7, and Dallas 8. Of course, you got Minnesota and Spurs. If I had to pick what team, if it comes down to play them with Lakers, Mavericks, and T Wolves and the Spurs, I'm confident the Lakers will make it. Unless they really, really start getting worse from here on out. All right, let's go to NFL scores. Um, Interesting week. Very interesting week. And a couple teams have already pretty much clinched their division and their playoff spot. So Tennessee beat San Fran 2017. Green Bay beat Cleveland. Who would have known? Cleveland's year was a complete disaster this year. Arizona lost to Indianapolis, and I'm gonna come back to that. Both of those teams right there, because that game is very interesting to me. Philly beat the Giants. Rams beat the Minnesota Vikings and took back number 1 in the division. Buffalo beat New England and took back number 1 in the division. And Tampa Bay crushed my Carolina Panthers. Who would have knew? You know, Cam tried to mean mug the camera, but Cam tried to mean mug the cam, but ain't nobody scared. Jets beat Jacksonville barely by 5. And I don't know if Zach Wilson played. I have to pull that up, which would be rookie versus rookie. Detroit lost again to Atlanta. Who wouldn't know? Houston beat the Chargers. That is very interesting. Like, the Chargers are definitely not supposed to lose to Houston. Cincinnati beat Baltimore. And like I said, Baltimore's plummeting. They're falling. They still, there's something missing. It's definitely something missing. They're going to have to put more around Lamar Jackson. Where we at? Chicago beat the Seahawks by a point. Kansas City crushed Pittsburgh 36-10. The Las Vegas Raiders, which used to be one of my favorite teams as a kid. I had a Raiders pullover hoodie back when pullover hoodies were the thing. Pullover hoodie jackets and whatnot. And Dallas crushed the Redskins like 50. What is this? 50-14. I mean, it's a demolish. 56-14. I mean, sometimes you got basketball games where teams don't even score 56. So Dallas is definitely looking good right now. They're getting hot when needed to. Dak Prescott was 28 for 39, 330 yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, there's not more you could ask for. Ezekiel Elliott rushed for a touchdown. What more can you ask for, really? You know? But, yeah, interesting game I want to go over is Cardinals. Cardinals are definitely not the team. They're starting to come back down to earth. And that's because of experience and injuries, but they're starting to come back down to earth. The Colts. The Colts might be the scariest team in the AFC right now. Come playoff time, they might be very scary just because they got Jonathan Taylor. And Jonathan Taylor can just put up 150 yards rushing in the game and give them a major advantage. So the Colts are my sleeper team probably for all playoffs, AFC, NFC. Like, really watch out for the Colts to make some major moves. I think people are really overlooking the Colts right now. I think they're really sleeping on the Colts. The Colts, they're one game under division lead, but the Colts are clearly going to make the playoffs. They're clearly going to make the playoffs. So watch out for the Colts. They're going to be a dangerous wild card. Dallas has clinched the division and clinched the playoff berth. The Packers have clinched the division and the playoff berth. And the Buccaneers have clinched the division and the playoff berth. And the Rams and Cardinals are clinched the playoff berth, but they're both fighting for the division. Chiefs are the only team in the AFC to clinch the division and a playoff berth. Tennessee and Colts still up for grabs that division. Um, Still, Baltimore can still win the division over Cincy, but Cincy looks like they're going to win the division. And Buffalo and New England, there's no telling how that's going to pan out either. New England can still win that division and whatnot. And only one team has clinched a playoff berth in the AFC, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. People were like super doubting them at the end of the year. Has Patrick Mahomes fallen off? I mean, God, give the kid some slack, man. Is he not allowed to have any kind of struggle? I mean, this kid literally since day one, since he started, it literally went to, I want to say, the AFC Championship the first year, Super Bowl second year, Super Bowl third year, and probably more likely going to be the Super Bowl kid this year. Let's give this dude a break, man. Cut him some slack. Even if he goes to the Super Bowl this year and say they win it and they don't go to another Super Bowl ever again, I mean, that's worth the 10-year. That is worth his 10-year deal. I mean, he's literally first year he started AFC Championship game, back-to-back Super Bowl appearances with a Super Bowl victory. And if he gets another one, I mean, what more can you ask from a player from his first 4 years? I mean, Mark Sanchez went to the AFC Championship 2 straight years, but they lost, and that was that for his career of any kind of competing in anything like that again. This guy, AFC Championship, Super Bowl, goes to Super Bowl, wins, goes to Super Bowl, loses, more likely going to be a Super Bowl again, and you got people questioning has he followed up. And y'all forget, like, unless y'all really watch football and you really know football has more changeover from year to year than any sport. Like, the teams change over tremendously. Defensive players change over tremendously. Offensive players, special teams. I mean, like, it ain't like Tampa Bay where clearly they lucked. That's the first time I've seen, I think, in my lifetime that a team won the Super Bowl and literally was able to sign all the starters back. But it doesn't mean all the bench players are the same. And when the starters get hurt or the bench players ain't the same, it's still not the same team. Totally. Football teams, just the changeover is tremendous. You know? So, yeah, Kansas City, y'all, all y'all people that were doubting, and then, y'all, thing is some people just don't like people dominating and being on top. You know, once Patrick Mahomes start looking like he's going to dominate year to year, they just like, no, we don't want to see it, you know. And they just start, is he fell off? Are they still the same team? Are they contenders? I mean, you tell me, they got the longest winning streak in the NFL right now. What more can I say? Top billing. All right, let me get to my first topic of the day. We're going to talk about Tory and Meg. I don't know if I covered this topic on my podcast. I might have. The reason I'm talking about this topic now is because things are starting to look very, very suspicious. Megan's starting to look very juicy Smollier-like right now. Because, you know, if anybody has common sense and they know anything about proving something in court and whatnot, nowadays the number one form of evidence that you can have is video with audio or audio. You know, video, audio, like somebody incriminating self, audio or audio, video. Video is the number one form. Past video, the number one form of trying to prove something in court is eyewitnesses. The more eyewitnesses somebody has, the better chance they have of proving that case. Like, you know, if I go to court with somebody and they got 4 eyewitnesses and I got 10, it's going to be a hard time of them proving their case against mine when I got 10 people saying otherwise of what the 4 say. And this is the problem with from what I've gathered, you know, the Tory and Meghan case. I'm not following super deeply, but from what I've gathered and common knowledge tells me, there was three people in the car. Oh, my bad, four people in the car. Tory, Meg, a security guard, which is I think Tory's security guard, and Megan's friend. Well, only one person in the car is saying that Tory shot Megan. Everybody in the car, Tory is saying that he didn't shoot Megan. The bodyguard is saying he didn't shoot Megan. Megan's friend, her friend, is saying, nah, we didn't get shot. He didn't shoot her. So what I'm thinking has happened is, I honestly think this is what happened. Tory might have shot a gun at the ground or something, and it ricocheted. Well, I mean, I don't know. And another thing somebody said that didn't make sense is she got shot in apparently both of her feet, and not one single bone broke. Well, I have a very experienced about breaking bones in a foot. I broke every single toe of my foot. I got a screw on every single toe of my foot. So I got hit by a car, right? Now, when I got hit by the car, I dislocated my femur, which is what I think caused my foot to break. Like, she didn't necessarily, like, so I got hit on my side, on my hip. It broke my femur, right? And in the process, I think that's what broke my foot, because instantly my foot couldn't handle all the pressure it was taking from the broken femur. So I literally broke my foot because I broke my femur, and I also dislocated his shoulder, which was also weird to me because I got hit on this side. Well, actually, I didn't really get. When she hit me, the car was coming this way on this side of me, but it seems like it hit my leg as I was going across. As I was jogging across, she kind of, I guess she hit my leg, then that broke my femur, broke my foot, and how my shoulder dislocated, I really couldn't tell you because it wasn't really the impact of the landing because I hobbled on my other foot and then I kind of landed on my butt. But just from experience to know I broke my femur and I broke every foot, like if you get shot in the foot, both feet, like no bones broke, it doesn't sound like somebody just shot you in the foot. I know somebody been shot in the foot and they couldn't walk properly for a long time. So that part right there doesn't make sense. I honestly feel like there was some ricochet. Somebody shot on the ground. Maybe Tory shot on the ground. Somebody shot and it ricocheted. I honestly feel like this was a ricochet. Now, if I shoot the ground, now walk with me. Walk with me here. Let's walk with it. Walk with me here. If I shoot the ground, pow, 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 and it bounces off the ground and ricochets and hits the wall and then hits you in the foot, that is not me shooting you. That is me shooting the ground and it accidentally ricocheted. So if somebody shoots the ground or shoots some other object and it ricochets, that is not me shooting you. That is the ricochet shooting you, not me. I've shot the ground. So that's what I think is going on here. I think Tory might have shot at the ground or something. Maybe it ricocheted, it hit her in the foot, and then she wants to say Tory shot me. But now she's just saying, I was shot. I was shot. But that I was shot is not the same as Tory shot me. I was hit by a bullet is not the same as somebody shot me. And if it was a ricochet, then it wasn't you were shot. It was somebody shot the ground and the bullet ricocheted and you were hit. That's not you were shot. That's you were hit. It's a different thing. You know, ricochets are not, you can't say ricochets are intent to shoot somebody in the foot or the leg or anything. That is not intent. That is me shooting at the ground, which, things can happen like that when you do shoot at the ground. Me being careless, shooting at the ground, ricochets, bam. You know, that's what I think is going on here. Because nothing, right now, Megan's reaction and the evidence and the witnesses and common sense just doesn't add up. I mean, I literally get telling y'all, I broke my femur, which broke every single bone in my foot. But somebody got shot both of their feet and didn't break the bone. Your foot is just nothing but bone. Your feet and your hands make up the majority bone of your body because it's nothing but bone. Your stomach is not your whole stomach and all that. There's so much going on here. You got so many organs, and this is not all bone right here. This is not all bone. This is all bone. Your foot is all bone because your hands are just pretty much feet anyways. Hands and feet are pretty much all bone because we used to walk on all fours at one point anyways. The first human did not know how to walk on two feet, so we used to walk on all fours. So our hands were feet and they're all bone. So that doesn't make sense that she got shot in both feet and she didn't break a bone. Then the fact that none of the witnesses are saying Tory shot you, and then now you're saying I was shot. That's not the same as Tory shot me. That's not the same as accusing somebody for shooting you. You know, if you're like, if I'm like hunting in the woods and you just happen to come in the woods and why shoot a deer? You happen to walk by and, yeah, I was shot, but it wasn't like Paul shot me because Paul wasn't trying to shoot you. Paul was trying to shoot the deer. You also got to prove intention. I don't think Tory Lanez intended to shoot Megan Thee Stallion in her feet. None of the witnesses' statements are adding up. You got 3 people saying he didn't shoot her and 1 did, and then now it's apparently now it's changed to not Tory shot me, but I was shot. But that's not the same thing as Tory shot me. So yeah, this started to look very Juicy Smollier like. Yes, I think Megan Thee Stallion is lying. I think there's total lies because Tory has a gag order. He can't even speak about it, and she could just go and just ramp her chops and get mad and upset because people are making me look like I'm not the victim. Well, if I shoot at the ground and bullets ricochet off the ground, you're not a fucking victim. You're not a victim. That's not because I didn't have intent to shoot you. You are a what's the words I'm looking for? You're a victim of a accident, I guess, but you're not even really a victim because it's not like nobody had intention to shoot you intentionally. If a bullet ricochets, an accident happened. You're not a victim. You're a circumstance of wrong place, wrong time. Shit happens sometimes. When people are just doing careless things, but no intent of shooting somebody. But yeah, Megan Thee Stallion's lying. Tory didn't shoot her. I don't care what anybody says. It probably ricocheted off the ground. It does nothing adds up. You get shot twice in the foot, each foot, and no bones break. Now it's not Tory shot me. Now it's I was shot. It's not the same. It is not the same. Let's see what other topics we got. Let's get into this Kevin Durant topic. I see Kevin Durant tweets at 6th grader. Apparently, this 6th grader did this move where he did a crossover and he kind of carried the ball behind his back, and then he shot a jumper. And this is a 6th grader. I mean, like when I was going to school, 6th grade was considered elementary. Now it's considered middle school. And some schools might still have sixth grade as elementary. I don't know. Different states could have different things. But when I was coming up to school, sixth grade was elementary. I mean, like, really, Kevin Durant, man, you gotta shit talk a sixth grader. Like he basically trash talked, you know, the fact that like it was shitty basketball, trash basketball. I mean, the kid's he's a freaking he's in sixth grader, man. It's not that serious that a grown man like Kevin Durant, which is a very weak move, it's such a weak move for you to sit there and go at a sixth grader. I mean, like, I would never in my life tweet at a sixth grader about anything. I mean, like, I wouldn't even like. So, like, he tweets at the kid and he's shit talking the kid. At first, the kid's like, "Oh man, Kevin Durant tweeting at me, And even if my thing is, even if Kevin Durant shit talked me, I would still be let motherfuckers know, like, yo, Kevin Durant tweeted at me, da da da. I wouldn't take it personal, and the kid didn't take it personal either. The kid's parents were class act. The kid, he thanked Kevin Durant, like, appreciate the criticism, this, that, and the third. Even though Kevin Durant wasn't criticizing the kid, he was just being a bully, shit talking the kid for no apparent reason. I mean, the kid is not even a six. Actually, my bad, just so y'all know, the kid was a sixth grader when the footage was shot. So it's still like you going at a sixth grader because he was a sixth grader when the footage shot. Now he's a little bit older. But, I mean, so what? The kid doesn't carry in the game. They don't call it. But we got to trash the kid for it. No, we can't. We can't trash the kid for it. I mean, the refs didn't call it. It was in sixth grade. It wasn't like sixth grade basketball really means much. It's not like you're going for the state championship at sixth grade. Ain't no sixth graders winning the state championship. So it doesn't really. It's not meaningful It's not meaningful basketball. It's just really at sixth grade, man. You should be just having fun You should be playing basketball to have fun. If you're just playing it like Kevin Durant, quote unquote, to be so damn serious all the time about it. I mean, you're a sixth grader. Who's to say that he even continues playing basketball past the sixth grade? His interest might change. He might get into the band. He might decide to start playing the trumpet or the tuba or the bass or something, or drums. Who knows? But he's a sixth grader, man. Kevin Durant, man, you a punk ass bitch, man, for calling out a little kid like that over something so minor. It's not that serious for you to trash talk the kid on social media. You just really got insecurity issues, man. Like, Kevin Durant really has insecurity issues where you got to get on social media and go to war on social media with little kids. I don't even got time to war on social media with grown men, but Kevin Durant looks pretty weak right now. This is why Kevin Durant will never be the face of the NBA. This is a big reason why you never be the face of the NBA. You're too busy shitting on the fans for no reason. You're too busy insecure about tweets and content on Twitter. You're too insecure, man, about a sixth grader doing a carry and not getting called for it in a game. Like, stop it, man. This is what I think about Kevin Durant's insecurity, man. And calling out a sixth grader. Weak stuff, man. All right, let me see what other topics I got. I'm going to try to save a couple topics. And I'm going to save this topic. I'm going to get in this topic. This is my last topic of the day. Black officer Kiana Holly murdered in Baltimore. First of all, rest in peace to Kiana Holly. What's my take on this? This is such a double standard to me, man. Like, where is BLM right now? Where's BLM when this black woman officer is murdered in a car for blatantly not just sitting in a car, murdered? Um, that's called a hate crime. That's a hate crime. That's people that hate the police. And this is the thing, man. People are really looking like hypocrites right now. It's such a double standard. Sitting there calling people white supremacists and racist when y'all hate every cop. How can you hate every single cop? You haven't met every single cop on the planet. This idea that every single cop is crooked, is racist, is just part of us, is part of the system. No, man. Most cops are just trying to get a paycheck. Most cops are trying to do a job that a lot of people won't even do. You know, it's like my take with the feminists that say they want sexual equality, but why is 99.9% of bricklayers men? They don't want sexual equality. They only want equality in certain places. And the same thing with Black Lives Matter. They only care about certain black lives. They blatantly don't care about black lives, like officers of color. They don't care about Hispanic officers or African American police officers one bit. Not one bit. And for me to sit there and say I would hate every single cop, I mean, you talking about somebody harboring a lot of hate in their heart, man. For you to hate a whole group of people that you've not individually met every single one. It's no different than the Klansmen that hate all black people, or the Nazis that hate all black people, or the Patriot Front that hates them. It's no different. It's the same thing. And it's not reverse racism. It's just racism. It's just hate. It's not reverse hate. It's just hate. No such thing as reverse racism and reverse hate. There's just racism and hate. And when you sit there and you hate all the cops just because they work, it'd be like me saying I hate everybody that works at fucking McDonald's. Or I hate everybody who works at Burger King. I hate everybody that works at Chick-fil-A. Even though I love Chick-fil-A, I hate everybody that works there. I mean, come on, man. I haven't even met everybody that works at Chick-fil-A. How can you base something like that? Hating a whole group of people when individually they all got different personalities, they're all different races from different cultures, they got different moral views, religious views. Some are honest, some are dishonest, Some follow the laws, some don't, And that's the same thing with citizens. That'd be like me saying I hate everybody who's dishonest. I don't hate everybody who's dishonest. You're just not allowed in my circle. You're not allowed to be a part of my life. Any dishonest people are not allowed in my life. But I don't hate every single dishonest person. I don't like hypocrites. People who go off the double standards. Do I hate every person who's a hypocrite? No. Are they my least likable people on the planet? Yeah, I would never like a hypocrite. Doesn't mean I hate them. They're just not allowed in my circle because, I don't like hypocrites. I don't live off of hypocritical double standards. And they're not allowed in my life, I don't allow people in my life that make excuses. If you don't got solutions, shut the hell up and get the hell away from me. Shut up. Burn the road. I only accept solutions. It's not that I hate all people that make excuses. I just hate excuses. When there's a solution, when there's clearly a solution, but this is such a double standard. BLM doesn't care about officers of color. They don't care about black men in general, period. I mean, if you go to their website, there's nothing for the BLM movement that says we care about men of color. There's nothing. It's only transgenders, LGBT. If you're not part of, like the alphabet mafia, as they call it, they don't care. They only care about people like gay people of color, lesbians of color, transgenders of color, women of color. They don't care about actual men of color, and they don't care about police of color whatsoever. I would argue that the BLM movement hates all cops, which is no different than a racist. It's not basically hating people because of their race. I mean, but if we're gonna go out, I guess you know what? Technically, you kind of can say it's hating people off of uniform color. It's hating them off of color. I'll tell you that much because it's blue. Anybody in blue, they hate. Whether it's black, white, or brown, if they're wearing blue, they hate. I mean, I got blue on my shirt. Y'all hate me? You know, this might be the close to the police colors, blue. But yeah, it's such a double standard. BLM ain't coming out and speaking up when this cop is just clearly just murdered for sitting in your car. A female woman of color, police officer in the force for some odd years. Yeah, it's a double standard. I mean, we don't need to know all the details. She's clearly just sitting in a car and gets murdered. All we need to know is it's a double standard, it's hypocrisy that when a woman of color, as a cop gets killed, that where's BLM marching to the streets on this one? Why they ain't marching for justice, on the person that killed her? And I don't even know the color of the person that killed her. I could take a guess, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna just let the information come out first, and then we'll go from there. But I have my opinion on who I think probably did it and whatnot, and because I just know right now what group hates cops more than anything. I mean, it's definitely with somebody on the far radical left mindset. I can tell you that much. Because there's nobody, that's the thing, nobody in the middle, nobody in it's only the far left that hates cops. It's not nobody really on the left, the middle, the right, or the far right. It's just these far leftists that hate cops. And it's such a double standard because you sitting there advocating against racism and people hating people with skin color, but you hate everybody that works one specific job. I mean, it's so bogus. And like I said, be like me saying I hate everybody who works at KFC or McDonald's or Burger King or Hardee's or Bojangles, even though I love their biscuits. Even though I love Bojangles biscuits, it'd be like me saying, man, I hate everybody who works at Bojangles just because they fucking work at Bojangles. That's blatantly what y'all doing. It's such a double standard, such hypocrisy. I would never hate a whole group of people just because they're a group. I would have to individually meet these people to decide. And I would never really hate them anyways. The only person I really hate is my uncle because he's just so full of hate anyways. He's so full of hate anyways. So I don't really hate people in general anyways. I just dislike a lot of things and I just don't allow those things into my circle. I don't allow them into my home, into my life whatsoever. I don't allow dishonest people in my life, hypocrites, double standards. I don't allow cold, blatant criminals in my life. I'm a self-employed businessman that wakes up every single day with a goal to make money. So if you don't have that kind of mindset, then you can't be around me because then you're gonna bring me down with you. And I'm all about going up, not about going down. So you got a negative mindset, you can't be around me whatsoever. Like so many friends will call me in the past and be like negative this, negative that. Every time they call you, just negative, negative, negative. I'll cut them out. I've cut those people out like a cancer in my life. I don't care if I hung with you for 20, 30 years. If you call me every single time, you have nothing positive to say, then don't fucking call me. Don't waste mine and your time. Because I only need positive people around me with positive mindsets trying to achieve positive things in life. You know, I'm not saying I can't hang out with the average working man, but only if we're talking about doing something positive. We're just sitting around talking about drinking and just shooting the shit. Nah, man, time is money. I don't got time to waste. Time is money. I don't got time to waste. So once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I'm gonna say these last two topics for my podcast, which I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm gonna try to ramp them out every day this week. I got to get to 100 as fast as I can so we can do this press release, and we're gonna run this ad campaign after we do this press release for the 100th episode of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka the Common Sense Podcast, aka Triple P, aka your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more. If you're watching on TikTok live, hit that follow. Also, I will follow anybody who's not following me that tuned into this live TikTok feed. Also, I'm pre-recording on a separate camera right here for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and much more. Audio version also goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, and more. You can Google Paul Pickett Podcast. That's PaulPickett. Don't forget this podcast is sponsored by none other than Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. If you need online marketing promotions for your music, your product, your brand, or your service, please check out promopalace.biz. Also, if you're a dog lover like me, if you're a cat lover like me, if you're an animal lover like me, if you're an animal rights activist unlike me, go to New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com and check out our hoodies, our t-shirts. We got t-shirts with cats and dogs on them, different dogs, different cats. We also got sneakers, New Litter Apparel, and we also got apparel for your dogs to wear as well, like dog bandanas, and we got dog tags as well for New Litter Apparel. Last but not least, for Shizzle, I got to shout out DizzleBrand.com. DizzleBrand.com, just add ice, Dizzle on ice. Do your Dizzle. Step into the future, DizzleBrand.com. Check them out. They got a dozen recipes on there that you can mix your Dizzle with. Even though it's good to go as it is, it's already flavored. Just throw it on some ice, squeeze a little bit of lemon, and you're good to go. Don't forget to follow my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and more. Also, I just started a Rumble. We started Rumble. I'm going to start adding a Rumble link to the descriptions as well. I got to get my content caught up, though. So we got to upload all our content to get it caught up on Rumble. And we'll be also releasing our podcast on Rumble as well. So it's Rumble, Facebook, Instagram TV, and YouTube mainly for video formats, and the rest of the platforms are typically audio like Spotify, Apple, Deezer, or whatever. Once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. This was episode 93. I'm your host, Paul Pickett, the Paul Pickett Podcast, a.k.a. Triple P, a.k.a. Common Sense Podcast, a.k.a. your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more. Peace, and I'm out.